Hello and welcome to Sport This Morning. I'm Cecilia Mogbe.
It's great to have you join us again. I am Tari Salam.
All right, let's get on with the show. It's all about coronavirus this morning on the show, but then we thought it was not going to be here in Nigeria. That's what I thought. Tai has been like, are you sure? Right now, the National Sport Festival tag Edo 2020 is being postponed. This is simply because to avoid the spread of the virus.
Wow, it's a shame. I mean, it was supposed to start on Sunday, but as it is right now, it's been postponed until further notice. Of course, as soon as we get a date for the 20th National Sports Festival, we'll be letting you know on the show. Still talking about postponements, but this time around doesn't have anything to do with the COVID-19 pandemic. The Nigerian Professional Football League, that's for the ladies, the Women's League, has been postponed until next week. It was supposed to start today, but it's no longer the case. That's because 12 clubs have failed to comply with the registration
requirements.
Interesting, Cecilia.
That's what it is.
They've had how long to do this?
They had so long, and they wanted the league to start. But right now, the league is starting, and they're yet to meet the registration requirements. That's the reason the NWFL board had to postpone the start of the league till next week, Wednesday. Also on the program, COVID-19 is striking again. This time around is Kevin Durant. He's among the 4 Brooklyn Nets players that have tested positive for the virus.
Oh, KD hasn't played a game this season because of injury. And guess what? It's testing positive for the virus. And we wish KD all the best, speedy recovery, full recovery. We're expecting to do just that. So we're talking more about KD later on the show. We're going to start off with the Nigerian Women's Professional Football League. Cecilia, it's a bit of a shame.
Absolutely.
That after waiting all these years for so long to play, clubs have defaulted.
Not all these years, all these months.
Yeah, but you get what I'm saying. I mean, it's been so long.
Yeah.
We got to play. A lot of these clubs are, we're looking forward to the kickoff of the season, and they have failed to comply with our registration requirements. I don't know what's going on there. It's quite funny, not in a good way at all.
Not in a good way, because, I mean, when the rebranding was done by Ashafalode sometime earlier this month, it was all about, some of the club's owners were there. It was all about them, there was this excitement around that, we're having a new name, we're having a new logo, sponsorship are going to come, because when the rebranding was done, sponsors were around and everything, and we're looking forward to the season starting. But then, the letter that we got from the board, it's not really a good one, because it all stated the clubs that have failed, to really comply with the directive, and it read the management committee of the Nigerian Women's Football League, headed by Ashafalode, has announced the postponement of the kickoff date following the failure of 12 out of 16 participating teams to comply with requisite regulations leading to the kickoff date. And what are these regulations? According to the Chief Operating Officer of the NWFL, talking about Dr. Ayo Abdurrahman, he says the 12 clubs, they failed to submit evidence of up-to-date payment of players, which is one, players' wages, and also they failed to submit reports of comprehensive medical tests on each of the registered players. These are some of the requirements needed for the clubs to start. So Abdurrahman went on to say that there is no way we can start a new season without the clubs offsetting owned salaries of clubs, of players, so as to start the new season on a clean slate. Now, this is really indicting. If you want to start a new league, you are eager to start it. Obviously, you have to present, evidence that, yes, these players have been paid. All our players, of course, you can pay them, and these players, you're not owing anyone. And also a clarification that all these players are medically fit to start the season. I think this is a good way to go.
Absolutely, Cecilia. I like this hard stance from the organizers from the NWPL, and they've got just 1 week to do all of that now. And it'll be very interesting to see what happens come next week. And some of these clubs are still yet to comply. It'll be very interesting to see how the NWFL goes around that one. So these are the defaulters for you. The clubs are yet to meet the registration requirements. 12 in total, 12 out of 16. Cecilia, that's
Just,
about
simply means it's just
75%.
Now, I'm surprised to see some names here. I'm
75%.
surprised to see. Now, let's just run through them. You have them right here. Ibom Agents, Pelican Stars, they're coming in after a long time. I mean, they're the most successful club in the Nigeria Women's League. FC Robo Queens right here in Lagos. Dream Stars, also a Lagos team. They are privately owned, but the first two are owned by government. Heartland Queens, owned by government. Royal Queens, privately owned. Abia Angels, government. Adamawa Queens, government. Confluence Queens, government. Sunshine Queens, government. Oshun Babes, and Delta Queens. I mean, I'm surprised to see Delta Queens, and also I'm surprised to see...
Why are you surprised?
I'm surprised to see Delta Queens.
What is so surprising about that?
Because Delta State, I mean, they'll tell you we don't carry last. But what are you doing here?
I mean, you see that it's a bit of a shame.
It is.
Like I said,
it is.
12 out of 16 teams. I mean, that's way too many. We're not talking about a couple or 3 or 4 teams struggling to register. We're talking 12, 75%.
It simply means the clubs were not even ready. And from what I heard from some of these, some of the media officers and all that, were saying that the club owners, I mean, you know, they have association of club owners and all that. The managers of this club, though it's owned by government, were already pressurizing the NFL management, the NWFL management committee.
To get the season on the way.
No, to postpone it.
Again.
So they had to, okay, let's give you time. Maybe just you do that before Wednesday. That's why it took them so long. They waited till almost the dying minute before they could.
And now we're going to have to wait again.
We'll have to wait. And they've given them 1 week. I mean, you've seen the clubs. I know that most governments will be watching and all that. If you know your clubs is among those that are yet to actually, you know, give the rights, you know, I mean, just give the right requirements for registration of the new league. You have to, you know, do what is required, a comprehensive medical test on each of the registered players. And also, you have to prove of evidence that all the players have been paid to date. Because last season, we heard so many stories of some of these players that were not paid. Some of them will just have to play because they love football. But right now, it's no longer the case. It's not a charity case. These players need a career. They need to earn money from what they're doing. And that's the reason the management committee of the Nigerian Women's Football League are coming out with this very, very strong stand, which I stand with. Is a good one.
Of course, like I said, so yeah, there's no need to say much right now. Next week is just around the corner. And when that time comes, and it'll be very interesting to see how
many have complied.
And we'll see if the league indeed starts. And if it starts with 16 teams, or it's going to start with only the teams that have complied, that will send a very, very good message to the watchers of the league. It's going to show how serious you are. Imagine you're supposed to start the league today, right? And you already have sponsors, and all of a sudden you're postponing it because of this. So it sends a very, very wrong signal to potential sponsors as well, because it tells them your brand is not serious enough, and sponsors don't want to be associated with that kind of, you know, negative vibe, energy.
And that's a message to all the clubs. You want the league to actually have a sponsor. The Premiership this time around, that's the new name. If you want the Premiership to have a kind of a standard, a kind of a reference point for most leagues across Africa and also across the world, then the clubs will need to comply with the directives that have been given by the management committee of the Nigerian Women's Football League. Let's leave that and still staying with girls, because we just talk about women's league. But this time around, girls aspiring to play basketball. Now, there's always something, you know, for every girl child. But this one is all about the public affairs section of the United States Consulate General. This time around, they is a month. I mean, month of March is usually the commemoration of Women's History Month. And so as a result of that, there's a program they put together empowering women and girls through sports. And this program, you can say, claims from girls across Lagos State, basketball players, those are aspiring to become players. I know the ones in school and everything, they had the opportunity, I mean, to talk to who else? I mean, talking about one of the rave of the moment, Arike Ogunbowale, American professional basketball player. She plays for Dallas Wings. Of the Women's National Basketball Association, that's WNBA. And, you know, I mean, Arike, she came out tops in 2018. That's the National Championship, NCAA, their run, how they were able to, you know, they thrown one of the biggest, a kind of a school that haven't lost in 46, right? UConn. Remember that particular two when she had to, like, Lightning had to strike twice.
Yeah,
The semifinals
Hail
and the finals.
Hail Mary shots.
Mary shots.
Hail Mary shots that went in.
Twice in semifinals and finals in her sophomore year. But then final year, she couldn't get that one. But then, I mean, what her drive, her passion and everything, you know, talking to these girls, and some of them had to learn so much, you know, from her. The questions they asked, you could see the smile from the girls and all that, being able to meet someone you've been watching on TV and right here. You couldn't meet her, but a virtual video, you know, she is in Turkey right now, you know, playing basketball because WNBA is breaking. Of course, coronavirus had to also come in right now. But let's hear from her, you know, what she said to some of the girls and how she became who she is, and also is actually her role model.
I was a big fan of Kobe Bryant. Before he died, we actually had a relationship I got to build. So he's definitely one of my idols, but I would have to say role models would be my parents. You know, I told you guys about my dad. He was born in Lagos, Nigeria. He came to America around 18, I think, to go to school, go to college, and he started off just driving taxis for a living, you know, try to make ends meet and doing whatever he can. And, you know, over the years, he got into education. He became a principal, one of the highest paid principals in Milwaukee. Now he works in central office and he oversees about 5 high schools. So definitely him, like he's always been one of my biggest role models. I've had a long journey with sports. Like I said, I played soccer, I played basketball. I didn't really know which sport I was going to choose, but I think that's good for, you know, young athletes. You don't really have to know what you're going to do. I didn't quit soccer until like sophomore year of high school. So that's about 15, 16 years of playing both sports and just doing both of them, doing what I love, not taking it too serious, because if you take it too serious at a young age, it just makes it not fun. When you get to, you know, older age, I guess 22, 23, I guess that's old. If it's your job, you obviously have to take it serious. But as you're young, just, you know, do different things. I ran track too. I played softball. You know, I played football with my brothers. Like, I really did every single sport just to see what I loved, just to see what I liked. And I didn't take it too serious by just quitting all those sports and saying I'm going to focus on basketball. No, I'm young. You know, you're young, you're a child, or whatever age you are. Just try different things, try different avenues, and see what you love so that it can become your passion.
What you love becoming your passion. That's the message he's sending out. Also speaking, the reason behind the event, the reason for the event, Russell Brooks talking about the officer, public affairs unit of the U.S. consulate, explained why they had to put this together and why they had to invite so many girls to be part of a program like this.
March is Women's History Month. We were looking for someone who would be an inspiration for young women and girls. I also was familiar with Enrique's background, and there was an obvious Nigerian connection there. And also the WNBA. They are very, very easy to work with, and they were very, very cooperative in allowing us to reach out to one of their star players and try to arrange an opportunity for her to talk to young girls and hopefully inspire them. As she said, if you don't believe in yourself, who will? So I think these young girls are drawing that sort of advice, that if they're athletic, there's nothing wrong with that. If they're smart, there's nothing wrong with that. They should be outspoken. They're just as smart and capable as anyone else. At times, unfortunately, young girls don't receive that advice, but when they hear from someone who's as accomplished as Enrique, I think they'll take it seriously, and hopefully it'll stick with them.
Hopefully they will stick with them, and some of them actually learned a lot in the program.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no doubt that it will stick with them, because Enrique, of course, she's renowned, she's well known, and usually when you watch players like that on TV, when they tell you something, you're very likely to take them serious. So there's no doubt it's been a very good program for these ladies. Let's take a listen now to reactions coming from 2 of the participants, Odunayo and Bisola, what they had to say about this program.
I really learned a lot from what she said. Normally, I train once in a day, and I'm very comfortable about it. But she said she trains thrice a day. That's really inspiring, and that really requires so much energy and stamina to do that. That's one of my inspirations now. Like, I want to train thrice a day until I get there. I know I might not get there once, but from 1 to 2, from 2 to 3, then I can even increase it. And she was talking about height. I've always thought my height was bad. I have to do extra work and all those things. But she said something. She's just 5'7", and I'm 5'6". So if she can, I can. The first thing I picked was when she said education, that just because you're playing basketball doesn't mean you should leave your education. That your education, if you're educated, you can get like a better scholarship into better schools like that. And she said she was talking about the diet and all that, but at least she's talked about like younger people. So for now, you can just still like eat what you want, and when you get professional about it, then you can focus more on your diet and what you like do around. Okay, it's actually very, very difficult, like to just balance both of them. You really want to play basketball, you really want to go to school. It's actually difficult, but I just think that if you want to go to school, you can go to school, and in school, you can just find like maybe someone to like. If you have a course in your school, then you can find someone to like coach you, or you just go there, try to shoot, and what you've learned at home from your academy, you can put it to yourself when you're in school.
There you go.
Absolutely.
We'll be looking out for those two ladies very soon in the nearest future. And yeah, of course. Let's move on with the show now. Let's still talking basketball, but this time around, let's talk about Kevin Durant, who has become the highest profile basketballer, NBA player to test positive for COVID-19.
It's not a death sentence, so I mean, just get quarantined, then you take treatment, and then you'll be free. All right, we need to go on a break now. We'll come back. We're talking about Euros 2020. This is postponed till next year.